What's going on, guys? We are back with a brand new video, and in today's video we are going to be going through some of the best Brownlow medalists and ranking the Brownlow medalists since 2010. Now this is probably one of the hardest videos I've had to make because rating the best player from each year is so hard because obviously every player on this list is absolutely elite. So there is 12 Brownlow medalists because of the obviously that the year that Trent Cotchin and Sam Mitchell tied because Joe Watson got stripped. So I will be ranking Trent Cotchin and Sam Mitchell. So yeah, without further ado, before we do get in this video, make sure to drop a subscribe because we're so close to 400 subscribers. So can we please hit 400 subscribers? And when you're down there, drop a like, hit the notification button so you know when I daily upload at 4 PM every single day. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. At number 12, I've gone with, of course, Trent Cotchin. Now, I'm not saying Trent Cotchin had a bad year, but the fact that the only reason he has this Brownlow medal is because the original Brownlow medal winner got stripped of him and he tied with someone. I can't put him any higher than 12. Not saying he was a bad player this year, I just feel like that he wouldn't have had this if it wasn't for another circumstance, so I can't put him any higher. So that's why I've got Trent Cotchin. Even though he did average a 28 disposals a game and did lead the Tigers to a finals run in 2012, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm thinking of the wrong year. But at number 11, I've gone with Sam Mitchell. Now this is for pretty much the exact same reason, which is for the fact that he tied with Trent Cotchin. So obviously I don't want to put him any higher because if he didn't, he would not be a Brownlow medalist if it wasn't for a crazy circumstance like what happened. So yeah, that's why I've got him at number 11. At number 10, I've gone with Matt Priddis. Now at the time, if I'm remembering this correctly, I know this was was it 6-7 years ago, but I remember that this was actually such a shock to me, at least, when I saw that Matt Priddis won this, because I was not expecting that he'd win it. I'm pretty sure Gary Ablett was the favourite to win it this year, even though he did have a very, very good year. One of the best tackles of all time, and did average almost 29 disposals a game, and was very, very good. I think this was the year that he led his team to the grand final appearance. Actually, no, I think that was 2015. But anyway, like, West Coast were a pretty good team this year, and Matt Priddis was a big reason why that was. And he did have a very, very good year, but I just feel like he's probably the 10th best Brownlow medalist since 2010. Now at number 9, I have gone with Chris Judd. This might be a very, very big surprise, but I personally reckon that this year was a little bit overhyped for Chris Judd, even though he did have obviously a very, very good year like everyone else on this list. But I just feel like compared to some of the great Brownlow medal runs, I personally feel like his first Brownlow medal was better than this, and he did miss 2 games and he still did win the medal. So obviously did have a very, very good year, averaging the 27 disposals. Very, very impact player, and I'm pretty sure he led Carlton to their finals appearance, which is always great to see. But I personally don't reckon his Brownlow medal year was as good as some of the other Brownlow medal years. Now at number 8, I've gone with Nat Fyfe from the 2019 year. Now Nat Fyfe, don't take me wrong, was such a very, very good player this year, but I personally don't reckon that he was probably the best player this year. I personally thought that Paddy Cripps was hands down the best player this year. And if Carlton do win a few more games, I feel like Paddy Cripps would have won it, because Paddy Cripps actually did win the MVP, which is picked by like the coaches or something, or the players in general. But he still did have a very, very good year, averaging the 29 disposals a game. Still had the same impact. He did miss a couple games during the year, which people thought that would stop Nat Fyfe from winning the Brownlow. But obviously he was good enough, and he's still an absolutely gun of a player. So yeah. At number 7, I've gone with Tom Mitchell. Now, Tom Mitchell, don't get me wrong, was an absolute ball magnet this year, averaging the 35 disposals a game. But I feel like compared to some of the other like Brownlow medalists in the past, that his impact on the field wasn't as big as, say, you know, if you look at someone like a Dustin Martin or someone like that has such a big impact on games, even if they don't get the 35 disposals a game like Tom Mitchell did. But even though he was probably not as impactful as some other players, This is probably a record-breaking year in AFL history because he did break the records for the most disposal in the game at 54, which was amazing to see. And was if you go back and watch that game, it just looks like Tom Mitchell was everywhere the whole match, and quite frankly, he was. At number 6, I've gone with the current Brownlow medalist, Lachie Neale. Now, his numbers here that I'm going to say are a bit, like, obviously underdone, because, one, they did play less games, and they did play less minutes, so he did average a 27 disposals a game, but his ability to finally hit the scoreboard, only almost averaging a goal a game, which is such a big step up from anything he's done in the past. And I don't really say anything much about Lachie Neale. Everyone knows about Lachie Neale. Everyone's been watching the AFL recently. Absolute clearance machine, ball magnet, and I can't wait to see him this year in with longer quarters, because he was so good in 2019 when he first arrived at Brisbane, but with the longer quarters now, and he's got another element to his game, which is goal scoring, so I can't wait to see this man in 2021, and he could win back-to-back Brownlows. Next up, I do have Nat Fyfe from the 2015 year. Now, Nat Fyfe, don't get me wrong, I feel like this was probably his better of his Brownlow medals. He did miss out in a couple of games this year also, which seems like it's almost a habit for Nat Fyfe. But he did average a 29 disposals a game, like he did in 2019. But this year, I feel like this is when he was at his best. He was taking these high-flying pack marks. He was shrugging off any tackles. He was kicking goals. He had the ability to push forward. I feel like this is the best Nat Fyfe we've ever seen in the AFL, which is 2015. And this is really like when people showcased, they thought, oh my god, Nat Fyfe is an absolute freak. He was the favourite going into this year, and like a favourite does, he did win the Brownlow medal and absolutely cleaned house this year. Next up at number 4, I've gone with Patrick Dangerfield. Now this is a year where Patrick Dangerfield, he looked like he was getting closer and closer to winning the Brownlow, but his first year at Geelong absolutely blew out the water and averaged a 32 disposals a game, as well being one of the best clearance players in the AFL, one of the best contested ball winners, the ability to push forward and kick goals at times. This is the best Patrick Dangerfield we've ever seen, hands down. Even though he has shown spurts of this in 2020 and the years in the past, this 2016 Patrick Dangerfield was on an absolute another level, and you could see why everyone still rates this man so highly. And I personally think that this is one of the best years that we've ever seen a player play. But after saying all that, there's still 3 players that I reckon did have a Brownlow medal year that was better, which is absolutely crazy to think after looking at how good this man was. So let's check out number 3. At number 3, I've gone with Dane Swan. Now, Dane Swan did average just 32 disposals a game, as well being one of the toughest players in the AFL, an absolutely contested ball beast. Ability and clearances, he had the ability to push forward. I think he almost averaged like a goal a game in this year. And for players that didn't get to watch, people who didn't get to watch Dane Swan here, he was pretty much Dustin Martin before the Dustin Martin. That's just how good this man was, and you can see why they're best mates. And he also did lead his team to a grand final appearance. Sadly, they didn't get the Truckles on the day, but still, he was an absolute superstar this year. At number 2, I've gone with Gary Ablett. Now, 2013 Gary Ablett is probably one of the best versions of Gary Ablett we've ever seen on a football field. His ability to impact the contest, and I think it's one of the lowest records the team has had and had a Brownlow medalist on it, because I think it's like 15th or something this year. They didn't get a finals appearance, but Gary Ablett absolutely put this team on his back week in and week out. He was everywhere. He averaged a 31 disposals a game, almost kicking a goal a game. He was kicking a goal a game. He was kicking just over a goal a game. And he had games during the year where he was kicking bags of 4 and 5, and you're thinking, who can stop this man? Carrying his team over the line to wins. And I recommend you to go back and watch some of these Gary Ablett games, because it was absolutely ridiculous to watch. And this is the best version of Gary Ablett we've ever seen. At number 1, I've got Dustin Martin. Now, the Dustin Martin haters will probably hate this, and I'm not even a Richmond fan, but you cannot say how good this man was in 2017, winning every award apart from obviously the Rising Star and the Coleman, but he won every single award it is possible to win in the AFL, winning a Norm Smith medal, leading his team to a grand final appearance and a grand final win against Adelaide. averaged almost 2 goals a game, averaging the 30 disposals. And every time this man got the ball in 2017, you knew something was going to happen. This is when the fend became a trend. That's just how good this man was. And you cannot understate, as much as someone might hate Dustin Martin, his ability to just break a game apart and pull a game apart was absolutely ridiculous in 2017. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video if you love daily AFL videos. Subscribe. We're on the road to 400 subscribers, and I want to see your list after you saw all the players that have won Brownlows since 2010, because I always love reading the comments. I'll try to reply to every single comment if I can. So thanks for watching, guys.